back to my channel. As always, I am Sports Nerd. Today we will be talking about the legacy of Bob Gibson. Why his follow-through was so crazy. Let's get it straight to the action. You watch this video? Go and watch Bob Gibson's crazy follow-through, because I know you haven't seen it. And if you have, good job. Anyway, to save you some time, I'll show you the clip.
2 men out, the pitch coming, a swing and a
Watch that video closer. You'll see that Bob Gibson will take his leg. Let's take mine for example. He'll take the leg he falls through with and cross it well over his body. So it's kind of like that. From this, it ends up that pretty much. And he's literally in phase. And as his dugout's that way, he can literally just walk to it. And the shocking part about it is that he only did something major to his leg once. He broke his leg once in a game, and that's all he did. Other than maybe make it sore after like every game. Surprisingly, Bob Gibson had a really good leg. He could have probably done any sport. He was incredibly good at everything. He's probably the most competitive person of all time, at least in my opinion, not so expert opinion. But what I'm saying is, remember, he used to be a Harlem Globetrotter, and he could probably be one of their best Harlem Globetrotters of all time. He probably could have been the most known Harlem Globetrotter of all time. He probably could have been a talented football player or, I don't know, WWE fighter. He'd probably be talented at every sport. And he's still make headlines. He could play any sport. He could make headlines. He could be one of the most famous of all time. That's just his potential, and that's how incredible it is. Bob Gibson, to everybody in those years, just wowed everybody, which is no shock if you really look into his depths, especially in that 1968 season where he got a 1.12 ERA that hasn't been done ever since, and before that it hadn't been done since the dead ball era, where it was actually not that uncommon for people to do like a 0.9 ERA. But I mean, he was just incredible, and I don't even care if it was the year of the pitcher. He was great. It all started with that follow-through. I don't know if it was more of his pitches that looked weird. It was probably most of his pitches. They were just incredibly hard to hit. But also, it could be maybe the follow-through intimidated people. I don't know. A lot of people would say Bob Gibson's one of the best pitchers of all time. But if you go on Baseball Reference, they kind of underrate him a little bit. But if they're accurate, Bob Gibson might be a little overrated. I mean, I wouldn't want to say that to a guy who just passed away not too long ago, like a couple weeks. But if you go on Baseball Reference, he has a surprisingly low, only 89 WAR. He only won about 70 more games than he lost, which I shouldn't be saying only because that's pretty good. His career ERA was just under 3, which is pretty good. But from what you hear about Bob Gibson, you expect his career ERA to start with a 2 or a 1. Which, I mean, and if it starts with a 2, the next one would be like a 1 or a 0. But I mean, he wasn't that great, and ERA was like a 2.9. And then he only made like 500 appearances, so I mean, that might be part of the story. He had a segregated coach at the start of his career, which kept on bouncing him from starter to reliever, which might also be part of it. But other than that, Baseball Reference probably puts him a bit overrated. So let me know in the comments, is Bob Gibson properly rated, overrated, or underrated? On the better side of Bob Gibson, he actually got over 3,000 strikeouts, which is only a thing 10 to 15 people can say. He also only had a 1.188 whip, which means he only gave up 1.188 walks/hits per inning, which is pretty good if you think about it. His save number is actually 6, which means he got 6 saves over his career being a designated starting pitcher. I mean, maybe that counts as like he's been in the World Series 2 times, so I mean, it's like game 6, game 7, you're up 9th inning by like 1. You want to bring up your best pitcher, starter or reliever, to just bring it out, even if he's like starting the next night. I don't know. What would you do in that situation? I would probably bring in Bob Gibson, even if he's like, he pitched yesterday. One of the best pitchers St. Louis is ever going to have. I mean, what are you supposed to say about that? Can't say much. But I mean, his pitching stats were pretty good. He put up some good stats from year to year. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, 1.12 ERA in 68 hadn't been done before, at least since the dead ball year, and it hasn't been done since, which I mean is surprising, especially with the 60-game season that just went on. It could probably be like 1968. Bob Gibson did it in 162 games. We got a bunch of players in 60 games. We got some of the best pitchers of all time. Remember, like, Jack Flaherty got under 1 ERA in the second half of the season. And be like, a lot of people are like, he might be able to do it. A few other people that could qualify for it. Clint Kershaw could become his old self and do it. Some of those younger pitchers that were also pretty good, it could be like Walker Buehler. You could probably do it. I mean, if you go to Cleveland, Shane Bieber was incredible. Trevor Bauer and Yu Darvish were also pretty good. Go you. But I mean, with all that racked up, it's pretty surprising no one at least got close to Bob Gibson. But no one did. No one's gonna. Let me just put that out there. I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody's gonna. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Facts on Bob Gibson. 1, he's of course in the Hall of Fame. Guy like him deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. 2, he actually changed his number 3 times, despite only being on one team, the St. Louis Cardinals. 3, he has probably all the accolades a pitcher could ever need. ERA title, 2 World Series appearances, MVP. I don't know how you're a pitcher getting MVP, but I guess it works out. Number 4, his stats are kind of colorful from year to year. In the early times, of course, the segregated coach makes him look bad, but once he gets a new coach that actually likes him, he did great. I'm Sports Nerd. Of course, tomorrow I'm posting football, if I do post tomorrow. Sorry about Tuesday. I tried to post twice, which I post in the morning. Go watch that. And I'm posting right now. But until that football video, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.